So, as you probably know by now, Michael Thomas took to Twitter recently and aired some things out, aired some frustrations. And whether you agree with the method that he used, that being a public forum, in my opinion, you can't really deny that every single thing that he said is true. And it kind of all started during the Chiefs playoff game last weekend against the Ravens. And when the commentator mentioned that Mahomes used his eyes to manipulate a defender to put his receiver in a better position to catch a ball. Thomas took to Twitter and said, "You see what they said about how Mahomes used his eyes there?" And he used a little eyeball emoji and a laughing emoji. And earlier in the year, or excuse me, in the season, Thomas kind of went to Instagram and, made some hints about how he really wasn't happy with how he was set up. And basically, he thinks that he was injured due to a bad ball from Derek Carr. And the truth is, he was. Like, that's, you can't deny that he got injured because Derek Carr threw a terrible ball. Now, is Michael Thomas injury prone? Yes, but that still doesn't deny the fact that Carr threw a ball that got him injured, if that makes sense. Another tweet of Mike's was a reply to somebody saying, "Mike, if you can stay healthy, you'll have the stats you had when Drew was around." And Michael Thomas replied to that and said, "Well, if I didn't get set up by a bad ball, I probably would have had a light little 1,000 yards this year, but could have, should have. I know, I get it." And again, this is in reference to the ball that Derek Carr threw Michael Thomas in Minnesota that got him injured. And the fact is, again, Michael Thomas was on pace to go over 1,000 yards on the season. Again, you can't deny it. You can disagree with the way he went about it, but everything he says here is facts. And then on that tweet, the original poster replied to Mike and said, "Facts. Any change of scenery probably would be best right now." And Michael Thomas replied, "On top of that, they wasn't even trying to get me the ball, but it's no denying my style of play. It don't age, playa. You will see." And of course, Michael Thomas has never been one to separate, right? He has always used his big physical skills to attack the ball with a defender on top of him. It doesn't matter. Michael Thomas's style of play isn't based off of separation. It's based off of physicality and technique. And again, this tweet is absolutely true. He says, on top of that, they wasn't even trying to get me the ball. And if you look at the Saints offense during the games Michael Thomas played in, this was true. There were numerous times Michael Thomas was open and he should have been the first or second primary receiver, and Derek Carr just didn't look his way or didn't throw him the ball. And another piece of evidence to support this is the lack of slants that were thrown Michael Thomas's way this season. I mean, it was ridiculous, so ridiculous that we had media talking about it. Like, Michael Thomas is one of, if not the best slant route runner in NFL history, and the fact that these weren't built-in calls into the game plans each week, or even on the spot called in, it just tells you all you need to know. They were not looking to get Michael Thomas the ball. I don't know why, but again, another true tweet. Here, Michael Thomas replies to this tweet that says, "We all saw MT getting first quarter targets and not seeing another until the fourth quarter. We saw the hospital ball, but when the victim speaks on it, we're critical. Come on now. Yes, the NFL season was still going on, but it's our off season." And then Mike Thomas replied and says, "Exactly. Every week as if I wasn't open. On top of that, we was going three and out, which would be considered insanity. This business is based on improving, excuse me." Again, correct. Michael Thomas was open. Every game Michael Thomas played in, there were numerous times he was open that he did not get the ball. Go back and watch the games. Like, I'm not just saying this just to say it. Again, facts, right? And he says on top of that, they were going three and out over and over, which is considered insanity. Again, right? The offense was horrible. Multiple three and outs. Didn't look to change anything up. Didn't, again, throw a quick slant to Michael Thomas. Nothing. They were doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. That's insanity. And then on this tweet he's replying to, it says, "LOL, waiting for the Saints to get rid of themselves of the cancer that is Michael Thomas report to come out to try to gaslight the Who Dat Nation." Basically, this person is saying that pretty soon we're going to get an article from Jeff Duncan basically saying how much of a cancer Michael Thomas was, yada, yada, yada. And Michael Thomas replies and says, "LOL, written by Jeff Duncan, but I bet he won't write why no OC is taking the job they've interviewed. It's all propaganda and politics. I play the sport the right way. I will always rise." Again, facts. How many weeks have the Saints had an offensive coordinator opening? Nobody's took the job yet. Multiple candidates that they've interviewed have chose to either stay where they were or take another job. This isn't, rocket science here. Last year, Dennis Allen could not pay anybody. Dennis Allen could not hire anybody from the outside could not convince them to work for him to be the Saints offensive coordinator. Nobody wants to work for Dennis Allen. It's just the cold hard truth of it. And so that's why Pete Carmichael ended up coming back next year. So again, Michael Thomas, just speaking truth. The tweet may not agree with it in the way that he expresses it or, publicly. You can't deny the fact that it's true. So, you know, all this is it's sad that it's come to this for one of the best Saints players in Saints history. Michael Thomas, there's just no way he's going to be New Orleans Saint next year. It sucks. It really does. MT is one of my favorite players of all time. It sucks. His career trajectory was on a Hall of Fame level path, and it's just completely derailed because of injuries. And it's unfortunate, but I guess, that's life. It is what it is. But wherever Michael Thomas goes, I'm going to support him because at least he's keeping it real. He ain't no loser. He's a competitor. That's one of the main things that they talked about coming out of Ohio State, how this dude is a freaking competitor. He don't want to be a part of a loser organization. I don't Can you blame him? Like who would want to play for Dennis Allen? I don't know. But it is what it is. Michael Thomas, keep being real, keep being you. Appreciate you guys watching.